Hey guys, how's it going? I wanted to make a video. I think I said in the last video or two that I, oh, somebody's live on Facebook or YouTube. Anyway, I was gonna talk about, or I talked about in one of the last videos about RMAing my video card. So, long story behind it. So, I have a gaming computer that I pretty much built and repaired. I bought the parts and most of the stuff from one person in Frankfurt. So I got that all figured out. And this is mainly based out for the people out there who can understand what I'm saying when it comes to computers. So anyway, so I got the computer. It's AMD FX 6100. I made a video about the actual computer, and I think it was like last night or the night before, probably. I think it was like 2 days ago. So I had it came with two XFX 50 or 6770 1 GB in Crossfire. So lo and behold, the person that had it never knew that card number 2, which was in the second slot in Crossfire, was defective. After testing each individual card, wondering why when I enabled Crossfire my performance dropped in all Crossfire supported games, which is AMD, or used to be ATI back in the day. So it used to be ATI. So I tried the cards individually, probably in the last month or so, and I tried to figure it out, like what's going on here. I enable Crossfire and it just, the performance repeatedly dips. So after individually testing each one, I found out that the card that was in slot number 2 wasn't working. It was working, but it was just running at like a third of the memory bandwidth and clock speed that it should have been. Even when I try overclocking it to the normal speed, it wouldn't work. So I called XFX, and they're like, we can't, or can you prove when you bought it? And I'm like, no. And then finally, after complaining and saying the card was defective, they're like, okay, we'll do it. We will let you send your card in, we'll test it. If it's not good, we'll send you a new card. So I waited about a week or so after the RMA process. My card that I shipped to them got to California in like two days, I think. And then after that, it took them like 6 or 7, 8 days for their card to be shipped to me because they used FedEx Ground, and this is a fucking crazy experience. So I wanted to talk about the computer as well. So on top of that, so I got the new card in today. I forgot it was coming, and I was awakened to a knock on the door, and FedEx was here with the card. So it came in a little box, and I picked it up, and it was really heavy. I'm like, whoa, this is way heavier than than the card I sent out. Why is it so heavy? What did they put in this box? So after about 5 to 10 minutes after waking up, I became curious, and I was like, okay, so what is it? And I opened it up. Lo and behold, it wasn't a 6770 at all. At first I thought it was. I thought they just sent me like a black edition or something of it. They sent me a 7770, which is a 28 nanometer video card, which is a lot more power efficient and about 13 to 15% faster than the old card, for free, with a warranty. So I'm like, awesome. So I googled it to see if I can crossfire the 6770 with the 7770 that they just sent me, and found out you can't, because one's 40 nanometer die process and one is 28 nanometer. The new one was 28, so it's smaller, more efficient, etc. So I was like, fuck. Because in some previous generations, like I think the 5 and the 6 series, you could crossfire because they were both 40 nanometer or something. So I was like, alright. So I used to have 5770 Crossfire back in the day, which is before I got the 6770 and the 7770, which I have now, that they sent me today. And then before that I had a 6870, and I just can go on and on for days about what I used to do when I had, like, was really into diehard into building computers and water cooling and all the shit I've done in the past. So I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? So I was like, alright, I'm going to call XFX. So I called him, and it was, I think it was Matt or something. I was like, hey Matt, what's up, man? He's like, hey, what's up? And I was like, look, because XFX is like the best. Like, they answer their phone instantaneously. It's incredible, like how quick. Just like Google it and call them. I guarantee you will have a live person within like 1 minute flat. It's crazy. So I was like, hey Matt, he's like, what's going on? I was like, well, I have a problem, but I don't want to complain. Like, I RMA'd a video card like 2 weeks ago. It was a 6770, and you guys sent me the wrong card. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, you sent me a 7770 or a 7770, and I had a 6770. I had two of them, and they were in crossfire. That's why I got the other card replaced so I can crossfire them. He goes, well, you're supposed to say that originally in your support ticket. And I said, well, I did. I let him know that that's the reason why I made it. And he goes, oh, he goes, yeah, I'm looking it up right now. I gave him my information. He goes, yeah, the tech guy who did the RMA after he tested the card and realized it was bad, he sent you the wrong one. So it was basically a free upgrade. I was like, well, those two cards together are faster than the one you just sent me, even though the new card is an upgrade. I was like, so I don't want to complain. Like, you guys have helped me out so much, and like I really appreciate the RMA, even though I couldn't prove the warranty, which was probably well expired. I don't know. And he was like, so your other video card that you have in your computer that you were running a Crossfire, is that an XFX card too? And I was like, yeah, it is. And he goes, well, can I get the serial number of it? I was like, sure. So I gave him the serial number. He goes, well, okay, I looked it up. He goes, so, do you want another Black Edition card like the one I just sent you? I was like, what? He was like, oh, another free upgrade? I was like, yeah. So, he's like, all right. He's like, look, I understand that you shipped the card out. You got the wrong card in, which cost more than the card you had. He was like, I'll tell you what I'll do for you. He goes, I will take your old card, the one that you had mainly. He's like, and the card that I just sent you will hold you over until you get the new card. He goes, I'm going to free upgrade you to that card as well, so you can have two of them, which was awesome because I got rid of my two old cards for two new cards. And then he was like, I'll even, since you already paid for shipping for the first to send it in last time, he's like, I'll send you an email right now with the FedEx label. Print it off, attach it to the box that you got the card in, throw the other card in there, and send it off, and we'll give you a brand new one. I was like, no way. So XFX is fucking incredible. So I'm gonna show you what I got from them, and I mean, I'm fucking so thankful right now that they're that good. But yeah, so now I gotta wait another week for another card, but this card is running like at least 20 to 25% faster than the one I had was, and it runs ice cold. So without further ado, the update in the gaming computer. Alright, so here we go. So I'm running the 22-inch ASUS monitor, and it's running through HDMI, and it's running great. So this is what they sent me, was the XFX 7770, and it's the Ghost thermal technology, double dissipation, Black Edition, which is pretty much the highest end